There is always a constant when debating gun control with a leftist. 1. They know nothing about guns. 2. They know nothing about gun laws. 3. They never want to admit, it's not a gun problem. Leftists want you to believe it's a gun problem, when the real problem is, they insisted we change the way we raise kids. Now they're trying to pass laws to deal with the monsters they made. The same people who have been normalizing mental illness for almost a decade are now complaining about mass shootings. Obviously mass shootings are a mental health issue, perhaps if we stop normalizing mental illness? The same people who can't define a woman want us to believe they can define what an assault rifle is. Assault rifle. Noun, a made-up term to elicit a prescribed response from people who are ignorant about firearms. Loony leftist, you need a license to operate a car? Why not a gun? Anyone can buy any vehicle they like at any age, condition, or mental state. A vehicle only requires a license to drive on public roads. A vehicle has some 20 controls that require coordination and dexterity to use several of them all at the same time. A gun has at most 2 independent controls. Driving is not a right, and is not listed anywhere in the U.S. Constitution, so it can be regulated on off of private property. A car is private property, and you do not need a license to purchase or own one. Loony leftist, no one needs an AR-15. Then why does a cop need an rifle? District of Columbia versus Heller. McDonald versus City of Chicago. Catano versus Massachusetts. Some of the key issues decided against those clueless arguments of the loony left include individual right of each American. There really aren't any collective rights. The right exists unconnected with service in a militia. Keep and bear really does mean own and carry. Arms means modern firearms, and includes all instruments that constitute bearable arms, even those that were not in existence at the time of the founding. Like all rights, it's been incorporated as fully applicable to the states. The right includes the means to exercise it, such as access to ammunition. An actual Facebook post. Loony leftist, you should only be allowed to buy 22s. You do know the AR-15 is 22 caliber, right? Another one of my favorites. Loony leftist, no one needs an AR-15. Then it's a good thing I have an AR-10. Same loony leftist, well, that's okay then, it's smaller. Loony leftist, the Second Amendment only applies to muskets. Anyone with common sense, and the First Amendment only applies to quill pens and paper. Loony leftist, Chicago has a gun problem because of lax gun laws in Indiana. If gun laws in Indiana were the problem, then why doesn't Indiana have more violent crime than Chicago? Trying to not only normalize, but make mental illness fashionable for almost a decade, and when people do crazy shit, they want to blame everyone else. Loony leftists, if you vote against our gun control laws, you're in favor of murdering children. I'm for any law that will stop criminals, and Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles prove that stripping away law-abiding don't work, so feel free to climb down off those dead children's caskets. The same people fighting for abortion are going lecture me on dead children? Go sit down, I wouldn't have the ammo to kill as many kids as they have. Loony leftist, how many mass shootings have been stopped by someone with a gun, not a cop? I sent 4 examples. A concealed carrier stopped a mass shooting in a mall. A woman stopped a mass shooting at a graduation party. 2 instances of attempted armed robberies in crowded businesses. Well, mass shootings happen in gun-free zones where no one has a gun but the bad guy. Loony leftist, well, if you're not going to answer my question. Loony leftists, we need universal background checks. New York has universal background checks, registration requirements for all assault rifles, red flag laws, magazine limits, and not to mention, laws against murder. Red flag laws should have kept Buffalo shooter from buying weapons legally. There's been a lot of tough talk by state politicians in the nearly 2 weeks after the killing of 10 people at a Buffalo grocery store. How's that defund the police working out for you? Here's a simple test to ascertain if you should be commenting on mental health or gun control. If you look at this picture and see a woman, you shouldn't.